Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to be talking about the year of AI and customer centricity, which is also based on the content from my book. And hopefully you guys will take some insight from this and be able to have a new perspective to how we engage with AI within our organization. So imagine a world where technology doesn't replace human connection, but amplifies it. And there's a fear going out there about how much AI can replace humans and we're cutting costs. But the right way or the positive way of embedding any kind of technology is how do you empower your people when they are serving your customers to do their jobs easier and better. And for that, a key measure of your business success is how you are making your customers feel at the end of their engagement with you. And that is the essence of what the definition of customer experience is how do customers feel about you as a brand, as a business? And customers do not see different departments, do not see different faces. For them, your whole entire service, your business is you. So even though we might look at them as different services or areas of channels and everything else, but the customer doesn't. So that's a key thing to remember that it's how we make the customers feel, how whichever channel we engage with them. And to start off with, my own personal lesson around customer experience, my very first lesson when I was a teenager was at working at my father's small shop. And I learned the true power of customer experience and engaging with customers and how making and empathizing with your customers and making them feel really builds that loyalty and advocacy through engaging with your customers. So my father was illiterate, and I was really surprised how he was able to, every single person that walked into that door, how he spoke to them, how he made them feel special, how he was empathizing with their struggles or the issues that they had, and how he then personalized those services for them, even down to the point of he was so good at accents and he was able to engage in the same tone of voice for them so they could understand him too. And those were my very, very first points of learning around engaging with customers, what it means about customer experience and delivering that customer experience. And then that became my North Star throughout my career and my journey, having going through the very first that time when I went to university and I did my master's on consumer behavior and relationship marketing was a big thing then, and direct marketing was at its peak at the time. So, but end of the day, even though we were trying to personalize just names and empathize with those in regards to our emails, and that's the way they were engaging with the customers. But the most important part was always about making customers feel. And for me, I've always been the the customer advocate, regardless of wherever I worked, through data and insight and engaging. I was always the representative of our customers and try to bring them closer to the business, make them understand the nuances, the emotions, the feelings, the interactions that the customers had through data and storytelling of how well or how not so great we are doing in regards to engaging with customers. And this brings us nicely to we pay a high price for delivering a very poor service. And a lot of business and organizations out there are running towards trying to benchmark themselves against their competitors. And and the best competitors out there are a good learning for us because they don't chase us. They are the reason why they're at the top is because they are not disconnected with their customers and their services are tailored to their customers. So therefore, my recommendation has always been do not chase your competitors and what they're doing. Look at what your customers are asking from you. They come to you for a reason. They believe in you as a brand for a reason. So therefore, neglecting human element when you are engaging with your customers will result in significant costs to you, such as, you're disappointing your customers, so therefore you got high detractors. You're losing revenue because customers are leaving and it's costing you more to acquire new ones. On top of that, because of that bad experience, you're damaging your reputation and there's negative social media out there about you, about your services, about your products, because they feel you're not listening to them. And then this is a missed growth opportunity because your customers now are leaving to your competitors. And a stat is 86% of customers are more likely to leave you after one bad experience. So the problem really started more so at the beginning of COVID when COVID hit, and every business had to speed up and become a digital first service. Now, doing that, yes, it was great for the businesses to become AI or digital first service, but now businesses are racing to adopt um, technology for the wrong reason. And if it is a cost cutting exercise and not how do we do our how do we service our customers better through the AI or services tools or automations, then you really are missing a thing because you're disconnecting yourself from your customers. And this leads to frustrating customers. They feel impersonal. They don't feel that they are being heard. They're being listened to. They are disengaged with you now because there is no personalization. There's no emotionally. You're not being emotionally engaged. They don't feel valued as a customer anymore because of that disconnect of that digital relationship that you have. And many of these companies um, who are wanting to become customer experience centric, they are measuring it with the wrong metrics, such as just the NPS and CSAT and CES. Yet there is so many other metrics that tell you that you're doing a good job with regards to your customer experience delivery. And it doesn't matter how advanced or what tools or technology you bring into your business to serve or to be more cost effective. If you're having that disconnect relationship with your customers and your employees, you are not going to be able to reach or evolve the levels where you want. And this takes us to what does it mean from moving to an to intentional experiences. So a lot of businesses out there think that CX is a separate department, it's a cost center, and it's something extra that they are always doing. Now, to be honest, and I've had this, I put a post up on this on LinkedIn as well, and I wrote a paper on it, that customer experience is not a new concept. It's been in trade, in business, since trade began. And this is going back all the way to when the Egyptians' times, the Romans' times, when any trader was selling something to a customer and how they engage with those individual customers, how they build that relationship and understanding. CX has been going on since that time. Okay, now we've made it into a science and we want to make it more intentional. So therefore, it looks like it's an extra cost. But as soon as you start your business, CX is embedded within your business because you have a product that you're selling to a customer, and that with that product, the customer is receiving it, and the experience that they're getting from it may be inconsistent. It's your CX is already embedded within your organization. So how do you improve on that? It's not a separate cost center, but it's embedded in the end-to-end journey of you delivering that service and product to the customer. So to start off with, to become more intentional, we then look at mapping the journey, looking at it with the customer lens, building that end-to-end interaction, or when they want to find out about what you're doing as a business to the end, whether they continuously repeat that relationship with you or they move ahead, but become your advocate at the same time. And when you're trying to marry bricks and mortar and human digital experience, then we're looking at how well do you understand your customers? How well do you understand their struggles and what their needs are? And are you tailoring your products and your services with that insight in mind? And it's about not just transactions. Yes, we want to earn, we want to make a profit. We're here as a business, but to make that business grow and become profitable even more so, it's about building a human connection, an emotional connection, and that then builds trust, and trust then builds loyalty. So if you're consistent in delivering those experiences, you will definitely on a winner and a growth trajectory. And then the reason why I say CX is just the tip of the iceberg is when you're looking at CX alone as an organization, it stops at the customer. So it's limited to how organizations strategize to engage with the customers when you're talking about CX, because it's you're improving a touch point for the customer. You included a chat back. You think it will help the customer. You're doing a marketing campaign which is embedded around the customer. But then the rest of that campaign journey, I always used to say in my last role where I was that even though you're creating a marketing campaign, treat it as a customer journey. That campaign is how the customer engages with you, how they interact, what you want them to do. Are those systems and processes right in place for them to then take on board the product and then continue onwards? Is everybody online? And that normally doesn't happen because when you have a CX approach, it just stops at doing the marketing campaign, doing the design, and the rest is left to the other departments to manage that relationship. Yeah, they should be an end-to-end, which is why customer-centric approach, and this is why I wrote my book, being AI and customer centricity, not AI in CX, because we need to go beyond CX. It's about embedding the business culture, the operations, align with how you want your customers to feel, how your teams are going to be working collaboratively together to then deliver that customer's expectation of what you are promising. So therefore, CX is not a cost center, it's embedded within your business, and customer centricity is not CX. It is CX is part of customer centric approach, and which is a mindset, and it's not delivered just by one department. And another thing I would like to add to that, which I've heard quite a lot, is when we say CX is everybody's responsibility. Yes, it is. But you need somebody in the business with the skill set and the experience like set of similar to mine to be able to engage across all the different areas of the business. Like I would describe it as a conductor for a symphony. Each department, each area of the business are your instruments, and you are the conductor, and you want to make sure that there's a beautiful music being created together. And therefore, yes, it's everybody's responsibility, and everybody's accountable for delivering a great customer service. But you still need a key person in there, a sponsor from your leadership team, and a CX professional who then helps bring it all together. Hence why customer centricity is non-negotiable. It's more of a company-wide philosophy, starting from everyone, how you bring your employees on board, the HR area, how you manage the relationship with your employees, how you listen to them, and then every decision that you're making in your strategy moving forward, your processes, your technology, any engagement tools that you want to embed in your business, you always need to put the customer first in that decision making. How will they be impacted? And whether it might be a cost-cutting exercise, are you going to lose customers on the back of that? And having that kind of mindset of being customer-centric approach It does give you that competitive advantage over your competition. And there's three core areas within the business that will really make you successful. And that's first of all, knowing your current state of where you are today. If you really want to embed AI into your organization internally for improving your processes and externally how you engage with your customers, first of all, AI is driven by data. It learns from data. So where are you right now in regards to your data and your capture? And it's not just about transactional data. We're looking at everything that you can capture, understand the information around your customers and how you bring that insight together. So are you at a descriptive stage, diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive? So when you're at a predictive stage, when you are creating predictive models using machine learning and automation to then identify opportunities to then make that journey orchestrated, personalized for the customer. Your customer-centric maturity, how do you know where you are at that time? So a lot of customers or organizations, should I say they are very customer-led, customer-focused, but when you actually look at their material, their websites, their above the line material, it's all about the product, not about the customer. So therefore, are you product focused or are you very much aligned around your processes and you just want those processes to work in a certain way that you think works for you, not the customer? Are you again very customer focused? Is it all just about the customer and not your organization approach and your employees and how everything works together? Or are you at that point in your customer-centric maturity that everybody matters regarding your customers, your employees, your departments, your solutions, your data? You understand where you are in regards to that. So knowing where you are in regards to your data and your customer centricity, then you will know where and how you should be applying any kind of AI solution into the business. Are you ready for it right now or not? And if you do understand these three core elements within your organization, you could grow very quickly. Again, it's not a cost-cutting exercise. So the foundation of really getting a success in an AI project, from what I've done my research on as well, is AI alone is not going to make you customer-centric, and AI alone is not going to make you successful. So the reason behind that, if you see the Forbes 2024 report, that 85% of AI projects failed. And so there's a lot of investment, a lot of time put into it, but why were they failing? And the common causes of that failures are the businesses had misaligned objectives, they had data challenges, the data wasn't mature enough to handle the changes for the AI project, the whole infrastructure, they weren't collaborative, they weren't working as a holistic approach. So they had broken infrastructure and the processes. And the emphasis was too much believing in that the technology is going to work for them and answer all the questions. Yet it doesn't work like that. And then you have the lack of skilled personnel in the business who understand how this works. So your training of your staff is first and foremost is important, and bringing them on board. So the questions that organizations fail to ask is, where are we right now? So understand your current state. Are we reactive? Are we intelligent in regards to our data? How are our processes right now? Are we working as a collaborative teams, or do we work in silos? Is this going to work well for our employees? Is it going to empower them? Or is it just going to overwhelm them and they're going to find workarounds, which I've also seen in my working history, that when these extra tools are given, just to think that it's going to make it a bit more techy and savvy, but then it doesn't work with the current way that they work. So they're not trained up on it, or they have to find workarounds, which means a lot more work for and stress for the employees. And then finally, is how are the customers going to feel once you've delivered this and it's out there? Are the customers going to be benefiting from this, or are you as an organization looking to benefit from it? And it's not about the customer, it's about you. So in my book, I also have some bonus feed that where I provide a checklist and what I call the strategy on the page to help you answer these questions as an organization to know whether you are AI ready or not. And if you are going to go ahead with it, is it going to be practical to do that, to invest in? So here is why a really good example to validate why customer-centricity culture is important. And that's the starting point, where leaderships play a critical role in building a profitable customer-centric culture. And when I say leadership, it's everyone from the C-suite to the line managers. So when we talk about leadership, people think it's just a C-suite. It's got nothing to do with heads of or senior managers or managers, but it is to do with everyone who's managing the operational side of the people in the organization who are delivering this service. So Benny Rodriguez has what you call this the profit chain model, which I've broken down here, and in what it shows that this is why leadership is important. Leadership is going to influence the way you work in regards to your culture and your environment. When you have that culture and environment in your organization, that gives a positive work culture. It supports the employees and they feel happy that they're being heard and listened to and trained up, and they then become so loyal to the organization because they're being valued that they are becoming more productive. And being productive, they then create value because they're happy. Happy employees means happy customers, right? So loyal employees enhances the organization, the quality of the delivery of how they serve the customers. The customers see that they're satisfied, they see the value that they're getting from the organization as a whole, not just your customer service staff or your sales guys. This is the customer. Remember, I said right at the beginning, the customer sees you as a business as a whole. They don't see different departments. So when they're delivering when they're receiving that value and that service from your organization, then they become valuable customers. And when they're becoming valuable customers and they're becoming your advocates, they are buying more, they are advocating about you as an organization more, so then more customers are coming on board, and therefore you are creating more profitability. So that's why it all starts from your leadership. So where are you right now in your evolution? Are you ready? Do you want to transform into a more AI savvy organization? But if you do, then remember these three things. Data is your foundation. AI strives on clean data, whether it's structured or unstructured, whatever you can bring in and it's clean, that's your starting point, and you don't need to be at a certain state, because a lot of companies out there do help you clean your data and bring it all together as well. Are your approach to your delivering that experience, is it people first? Do you have that people first culture? Do you engage everybody on board from all departments, front office and back office, everybody on board that this is the way we want to go, and you're going to be doing all the new technology enhancement based on enhancing and empowering your people to deliver that? And with all that, you are aware of where you are today, where you want to go. So you're starting small. You are not having to jump to agentic AI. You want to be able to start off with where can we take those small steps and investments to improve those efficiencies and processes and empowering our staff to deliver, and then work on it and grow with that. So how that works is we're talking about transformation using the customer-centric mindset and frameworks, which I will show later on in the next slide, hopefully. And understanding your current state, you're doing this for your people, You want to progress, and your purpose is what? To deliver the best experience you can for your customers. So knowing your state, where you are regards to your data and CX maturity, organizational alignment is making sure everybody's on board with the same mission and goals, and deploying the right kind of AI solution in the right places, and not thinking that this is a cost-cutting, people-cutting exercise moving forward. It's about empowering the people, making human connections. Because customers still, even today, I think I read a stat, 76% of customers still want the human engagement. And again, it depends on what industry you are in and what kind of products you are selling and serving with customers. So here I created, based on everything that over the last 30 years I saw, there is a solution that I put together, a framework, a six-stage framework. And it's basically bringing the whole elements of the customer centricity for you as an organization, and knowing where you are in each of these six areas. So you're starting off with your culture, your leadership, your strategy. So that's setting a foundation for your organization. Then we're looking at being intentional with delivering what kind of experiences you want your customers to feel and experience. So you're designing with purpose, and how well you're doing that. You're empowering your people, everything around EX, the employee experience, for what their needs are. Are you listening to them, their struggles and their problems? Are you removing the friction for them to deliver the level of experience you want them to your customers? You're listening and understanding who your customers are. Are they feeling that they're delivering value? How do they engage with you? Why do they engage with you? Do you have that level of insight and understanding by all the different nuances and segments of your customer? Then bringing in, and a lot of companies don't do this, is utilize the behavioral science techniques and emotional intelligence techniques, understanding when you're engaging with your customers. So you've got all that insight, you've got all the processes, but you are not using behavioral science techniques or emotional engagement techniques, because for me, I think that's the cherry on the cake that a lot of organizations are missing. And then, you're continually growing, you're continually improving. So how are you capturing the data? How are you building that insight to make robust decisions going forward, and making those improvement and changes going forward? So it's a continuous loop. It's not a one-off exercise. And to help you understand where you are in regards to each of those elements, I do have a maturity assessment questionnaire. It's 12 questions. And it's not me telling you where you are, it's you telling yourself, or telling me, where do you currently think you are? Where would you like to be? And then how do we then take it from there to identify those gaps? Initially, you as one person may do that, as long to give you an idea what it's like, but it really comes together when we are running this maturity assessment across all your C-suite leadership, heads of managers, some back office staff and frontline staff, and it's bringing all that insight together to see how aligned are your senior staff, understanding where they think the gaps are in the organization, and where your frontline staff think there's a gap in that. And how can we then deep dive into each of those areas to help you improve and become more customer centric? So that's the end of this presentation. I hope you guys found it useful. You saw some different perspectives on how to engage with your customers. My book is a bit more in depth about each of those areas and more so. So do get in touch. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think? And moving forward, if there's any other questions that you might have, get in touch with me directly. There's a scan code there for you. And then just one more thing I want to leave you with. Here you are. There's a personal takeaway for you if you want to get the ball rolling. Is ask your customer experience strategy. So is your customer experience strategy truly integrated to how you lead and serve and grow? And to answer that, to help you, is when you're starting one of your team meetings, and whether it's back office, whichever department, just choose one team to ask themselves, how does their work connect to the customer's journey, or how does it impact it? And I've seen this happen um, when I'm working across and collaborating across departments where they think they're just doing an activity or process. But how that impacts the customer in that journey when we're delivering that experience, they're not aware of it. So it's really good to test that out and see how you feel or your team feels that they're delivering or they're part of that delivery of that customer experience, and take it from there and see how that works. But thank you very much for the time. I really appreciate the chance to re-record this and share this with you guys again. Do add me on LinkedIn, join me on there. I do share a lot of other insight as well, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with XM Global again in the future. Thank you.